All right, so this week's episode of the Midweek Howl, starring Shane Grove and the Ozark Howler, the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast. What do we call this? The Enterprise, or is it the Mega?
I think it's got to be called the conglomerate. That's when an organization or a business has multiple entities, not necessarily in the same product line or service line.
Okay.
Like General Electric can make a toaster or jet airplane or loan you money for your home improvement. General Electric is a conglomerate.
Or rent you a building to take the place of a school that is no longer standing.
Serious?
Yeah, they did. So, oh gosh, boy, we're taking a left turn.
Here we go, and we done run off in the ditch already. Roll it. Keep going. Keep going.
So this is kind of what I think was General Electric's downfall, was all the different things they got into. But one of the things they had, it was a rental business, basically. And so our school district had 4 different schools out in the country that at one time were high schools. You know what I'm saying? And they all consolidated and became the high school Winford. Okay. But they still used all those little schools as elementary and junior high and different places. So at one point when my kids were in school, they built a brand new kindergarten through 5th, maybe.
Right.
Okay. Great big, really nice building right on the same campus of the high school. Well, they didn't have any place for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So, because the building they were using was just terrible. So what they did is they got these modulars from GE that then became the class, and they were supposed to be temporary, 2, 3, 4 years. Okay. They were not replaced till about 2 years ago, and they had been using them for over 20 years. Now, on the flip side, they were the only part of because they were attached to the high school. You could walk into them from the high school, but they were the only part of the high school that was air conditioned. The rest of the high school wasn't air conditioned, where I went. But now all that's been torn down and or most of it. Now there's a brand new high school beside now what is an outdated elementary school. And they kept like our old gym and theater area, okay, and the shop and stuff like that. They kept that. So they had an extra gym and stuff. But yeah, GE made this I'm like, why is GE making modulars or not even necessarily making them? Why did they buy the company that made them and then get into the leasing business? Didn't make any sense to me. Like, how is that an ancillary part of what they did? It didn't seem to go hand in hand. It's not like our From the Shadows conglomerate, that we have. That didn't seem to make sense in the GE world. Am I wrong? Are you stumped? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here debating you, and my mute was on, okay? I said, do you want to know what their business was, how all those things tied together? It's completely opposite of our conglomerate.
What was their business? I thought
to make money. That was their business, to make money.
Well, it must not have worked.
Well, I think it worked fine. I think what messed them up was interest rates, the economy, leases, Jack Welch, publicly funded stuff. Jack probably wasn't as great in business as he was when he took his golden parachute,
I mean, my grandma worked for GE and just swore by him. She would.
Yeah, and then she got a dividend every year, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
What happened is on them airplane motors, like all them big 777s, when you see a Delta Airlines or back in the old days, Northwest Airlines, when you see that, I don't even know how much, $150 million 777 airplane sitting there that's got $60 million worth of engines hanging off of it. Those engines are leased from General Electric, okay? So they buy the airplane, but they lease the engines. and a maintenance program that goes with them. Well, what happened after 9/11 is all those people quit flying, the economy tanked, and all those, people like Delta Northwest American filed for bankruptcy and told GE come get their shit.
Oh, jeez. Well, there you go.
It's hard to turn that $60 million airplane engine into a toaster and pay a dividend at the same time, among other things. What?
That's true. But speaking of conglomerates and making money, by the time this episode comes out, I do believe, through much hard work from our social media queen, Nita, that our merch store will be up and running full speed ahead. I think she's still got to get up maybe a Howler quote that can be put on some stuff, and one more other thing. But I think
all the quotes I've given her for the last 2 years, and she doesn't remember any of them.
No, she's got them all. What she's going to do with the Howler quotes is roll them out. Like, one's going to be available for a couple months, and then
like a limited edition.
Yeah, like a limit. Yeah, she's going to create a like a market, a secondary market for Howler quote merch. I don't know about that, but I'm just saying she's going to create the demand for some, like, there might be somebody out there that has a coffee mug that says one thing, and then has a coffee mug that says, God, I'd hate to misquote you, but what was that, a bloody lip and a black eye, and there's questions to answer.
Yes. A broke hand and a bust. He's got a busted head, and I got a broke hand, and questions will be asked.
So she's going to do something kind of cool with that, and kind of roll out those quotes every couple months, different ones that people can get them on. I think on anything. They might be able to get them on a hat, on a T-shirt, on a coffee mug. I don't even know. I don't know. I haven't even had time to look. I just trusted her with setting it up, and I think it'll be, when this episode comes out, people can go out, and if they want to support us by buying some merch and wearing an Ozark Howler T-shirt or a Ozark Howler coffee mug or From the Shadows or Bigfoot versus Yet, you can do all that stuff. Knock themselves out. There you go. Then maybe we'll be able to get one of those $60 million airplanes and we can fly around to stuff.
I don't want a $60 million airplane. If I won, I thought this. I don't know. I'd probably quit flying if I won a bunch of money in the lottery.
Really?
Well, yeah, because then you got a reason to live. I mean, shit. You think it's the rich people that always die in them plane crashes, right?
I don't know. I try to stay away from
planes, or you're the one that doesn't like to fly.
I don't. I really don't like to fly. It just there's just some stuff about it I don't enjoy for some reason. And I was just talking on a paranormal episode that'll be coming out. I was just talking to a lady who's a flight attendant, and she does ghost tours. But I had to ask her, as a flight attendant, do you hear any scuttlebutt from the pilots and other flight attendants about UFO sightings? And she goes, absolutely. She goes, almost every pilot she's run into has some sort of UFO story, but they don't talk about it. They'll never go on the record, and they won't talk about it. And I was kind of like, even now with all this talk? And she said, she goes, well, hopefully, I've had a couple of them say, if we do see something, we'll invite you guys up to see it. And she goes, I think that would be awesome. And I'm thinking, I go, how would that be awesome? Now you're stuck. It's not like you're in a fighter jet that you can defend yourself. You're a big commercial airline with no evasive tactics available and no weapons available. And there you're seeing a UFO. Like, I think that would be terrifying. You're at the complete mercy of something that you have no idea what its intentions even are.
You listen to what you're saying.
Yes, I can hear it. I got ahead. Yeah. Why?
If you think it's really extraterrestrial from outer space, what do you think? I mean, you've seen Independence Day, right? with Will
Yeah.
Smith. Just
Yeah.
what exactly do you think you're going to be in that's going to defend anything from anybody?
Well,
If E.T. is rolling in town, guns a-blazing, it doesn't matter. You're probably better off to
that's true. But but it's all about the perception
I
and the
mean, that
feeling.
like that Blondie song. How's it going? How's the Blondie Rapture? She's eating heads. What how's it go?
The Man from Mars.
The man from Mars stopped eating cars. Now, right? So I'd rather have 254 people in first class, business class to get to me in the back seat of coach. They got to eat a lot of heads to get to me. You know.
So speaking, I don't even know how we're going to segue into this.
I don't even know, man, because you wasn't thinking Rapture, was you, brother?
No, I wasn't. Yeah. Which was Fat Five Freddy is a friend of mine.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man, I'm not singing the hook, so just I don't want to drive away people that we haven't already driven away. But we kind of have another melancholy.
It is, yeah. Well, that's what I was just thinking. I bet you Hartman's been around the Blondie block. He probably had a Blondie story.
And if he didn't, he might have just made it up, right?
Well, you know, I'm telling you, yes. And that's my fault for not. I kind of briefly talked to him last year at my grandma's 90th birthday party. Of course, he was supposed to be in hospice, and he rolls in there with his mom, looking terrible. And I mentioned, you know, of course, Wade, our mutual. Anyway, he sort of acted like he'd be on the, you know, do a cut of something, but then he really didn't. You know, people get camera shy, people get mic shy, you know, and plus he had the best stories, but some of them he couldn't tell because a lot of these people are famous and still alive. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, he'd rap out a Crystal Gale story or something, and you'd be like, "What?"
We still should have got him on tape and just saved
just for our own stuff.
Yeah,
yes,
just for our own stuff.
You're right.
Yeah.
But he's they're putting him in the ground this week, so he's not going to be able to talk anymore.
So for everybody that doesn't know, and we've
the guy that introduced us all.
Yeah, Bobby Hartman, who sold merch and among many other things for David Allen Co. back in the day, is the guy who introduced you to our buddy David Wade, who then introduced you to me, and the rest is history. I mean, what I remember is the first time you called me. I was on the mail.
Text.
Yeah,
I can tell you the date. Yeah.
Oh my God, I was on the mail route, and you called and talked to me, and it was like we had gone to high school together and just hadn't talked in like 10 or 15 years, and we just picked right up and we're just talking. That's what it was like to me.
I'll tell you what. So
I don't know what it was like to you, but that's what it was like to me. Like I thought, this guy is somebody that if he lived around here, we'd hang out all the time. That's what I thought.
I just sent you the original text.
Oh gosh.
Okay, and I can tell you the day here. March 20th, 2017, 9:22 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
I still got the text. Yeah, I still got the text.
It hasn't come through yet. That's crazy.
That's because I'm down in there in the bunker. You know, I do my recording.
So it was 2017?
Yep. I still haven't finished my screenplay. The screenplay I was writing when I talked to you that day. I still haven't finished it. I started working on it a little bit today. It's the only reason why I remembered. I mean, I was thinking about earlier today that because I was working on it. I just decided I was going to try to write 4 or 5 pages a day every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it'll be done here next month, right?
Yeah, that's the way. That's the only way to get it done.
I don't have a good name for it. It's still called Untitled Amish Comedy on my board, but the fact that the name gets the fact that I get chuckles out of the name right off the bat, you know what I mean, gives me hope.
I think you got to leave it at that is the title, right? Untitled Amish Comedy.
I tell you, I was up there watching
Kingpin.
Huh?
Kingpin? That's the only Amish comedy.
No, I was watching Kingsman, The Golden Circle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was watching the second one, and I was thinking, the guys that did this could probably do my thing perfectly.
What do you think that?
Well, because first of all, they have you ever seen the Kingsman Golden Circle?
I don't know that I've seen the second one. I've seen the
Okay,
first.
so it's almost like a double O James Bond spoof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a way. So they take a topic and they made it funny, right? They made they in mind kind of spoofs national security and the end of the world all in one. Mine spoofs a bunch of that stuff. So when I was seeing it a while ago, I thought, man, this could be something that these guys could do.
Well, when you're done with it and we read through it, we will present it to now we're still trying to figure out a good nickname for Phil.
That's okay.
Phil the producer. We don't have the judge and I picked out a couple nicknames for him that he said he wasn't really comfortable with. So, well, because maybe he doesn't understand our sense of humor, but and the judge is, pretty.
Why can't we just call him Phil the producer?
We can, but we call Jason the super producer and just.
Well, that's why I reserved it for Jason. You know what I mean?
We wouldn't call him super producer, but we would, we want to like call him something else to kind of,
mega producer.
I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, Phil, and we got to spend the judge and I got to go to the movie studio that he works at in Ashland, Ohio, Good Deed Entertainment. And it is an old Montgomery Ward building in downtown Ashland, Ohio. And it is an amazing building. They have refurbished the main floor, and I just got to be honest with you, it'd be man cave extraordinaire. I mean, it is a great space and a very great creative space. And then we went and explored. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 floors, and you could almost shoot like it'll be to the point where you can shoot almost any interior for a movie that you want somewhere in this building. And we're talking the state of movies and some of the stuff that we've written and you and I have talked about stuff. And so the goal is for us as a collectively to get a movie made, a screenplay that we've written, be producers on it, help and get it made. That's kind of our bucket list item. And so I don't know why that an unnamed Amish comedy couldn't be something that they would at least be interested in, because I think the goal is high concept, low budget, right? High concept, low budget.
Yeah, I don't know how low budget I can make it. I mean, if I got to recreate the Pentagon, and
but it's amazing. It really truly is amazing. Like what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably do it with CGI, or what do they call that stuff?
Like they do green screen stuff and they put it up. I mean, it's amazing, what they can do. So I don't know. Well, maybe that'll be the next part of our conglomerate. We'll get into the movie business, and
I don't know. Do you really want to have fun and make money?
That's all I really want to.
I've really avoided that kind of stuff my whole life because, you think about how fast you have a hard labor job every day, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you work every day. I mean, you really work every day.
Yep.
Okay. And you think about how fast your life has passed you by.
Oh, yeah, fast.
So how do you think somebody like Tom Cruise feels? I bet you that guy feels like he went to bed last night when he just finished a rap party at
Risky Business
and woke up and he was Maverick, Colonel Maverick.
You're absolutely right, because
So-
movies have a whole. I mean, to go make a movie and to be in that setting, and it's just all you're doing.
Somebody like Spielberg. So I was watching Raiders of the Lost Ark a while ago. Okay, because I just can't hardly, because I spend a lot of time, well, I say by myself. I got my kids, and I helped them with their homework a while ago, and I'm sitting there, and they when they're not making fun of me, they're doing their thing, right, gaming and doing whatever, right.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with two dogs who really let me watch whatever I want, and I can't hardly get by. I can't pass up any of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've got to watch one of them for 5 till I get bored with it. Sometimes I watch the whole thing, right? So somebody like Spielberg, he has got to think, where'd my life go every freaking day, right?
I don't think so.
He had all that fun and made all that money, and
I think he's trying to think of the next thing. You know, right? Don't you think? I mean, when you're that kind of person and you're creative and stuff, I don't think it ever turns off until they put you in the ground. I think or until nobody will make any of your stuff. You know.
Well, it's never going to happen to him.
No, it's never going to happen to him. I mean, go back and to think, like, you know, Jaws. Like, I read that book on the making of Jaws from the guy who wrote or rewrote the screenplay, and it was basically a diary of while they were doing it. It's a fantastic read just to see all the stuff and trials and tribulations to go make Jaws. And it's a lot. It sounds like a lot of work, and it's just crazy, but it has to be fun to a certain degree, you know, because you're going down. It's like it'd be like exploring a new place as a kid, you know, like a new cave or new woods or something like that. You remember how you're a kid and you'd go a little bit farther in the woods or across the field, and then you get down to some place you'd never been before, and that's had to be what it's like to go and make a movie. Like, we've never done this before. Let's see where we can go with this. And, you know, if everything's kind of brand new, like places you're going. That's how I kind of look at it, but what do I know? What do I know? So,
you know a lot, man.
I don't know. But what I do know is, so what I was telling you, so we went to church for Mother's Day. Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Sometimes I come to Sunday, and Christy loves going to church, and it's hard because we go to church a little bit away. It's a little bit of a drive, and which that shouldn't matter, you know, if you're going to go.
Jesus carried that freaking cross.
Yeah, no, I know.
You can't drive a new Suburban an extra 20 minutes.
I know. No, thanks. Now you're making me feel bad.
I'm just saying, dude.
But so on our way home, I went away that we never go, but we had to go into town, go to the grocery store or whatever. And so we're driving along the road, and there's something in the road. And I kind of slow down, and here it is, this giant snapping turtle, or pretty big sized snapping turtle,
Right.
that obviously has been hit.
Oh, doggone it.
So we don't know we don't know how bad it is. So there's nobody coming. So I go down, I turn around, and Izzy jumps out, and
Whoa. Now, is she snapping turtle qualified? I mean, she realizes that's not her normal box turtle, right?
well, you know, look, I can handle a horse, I can handle pigs, I can handle a snapping turtle. Okay. So we've realized then the snapping turtle is alive. It's just, you know, it got hit. Something's wrong with this lower part of its jaw a little bit. So I don't know if it's going to make it or anything, but she goes, well, I'll move it off the road. And I'm like, okay. And so it's not my first rodeo. So I'm like, okay, I'm videoing this because this is good content, right? This is what we've turned into. But I got to have this for Pasta. And it is so funny watching her trying to reach down, and first of all, she thinks she's going to grab it by the tail.
Which that'll work. Yes, that'll work.
Well, not if you're afraid to actually grab it.
Okay, yeah, you got to be committed.
So she tried to grab my tail, and I said, "Hey, get in there and just grab it around the back of the shell, because we just got to get it off the road. Is all we got to do." And of course, as soon as she goes to pick it up, its back claws are like digging a. Now they can't get her because she's got a hold of the shell. It can't snap her, even with one of its half of its snapper.
But she doesn't know that.
She doesn't know that. So I'm so glad I videotaped it, because it's kind of funny, her trying to get it and her commentary. But so she gave up, and I got out, and I said, "Give me the gloves," and I picked it up, and I just set it over in the grass. The dumb thing I did, though, was I should have taken it to the other side of the road, because that was leading down to the river. So I'm sure what was happening. So you
took it the opposite side it wanted to go to in the first place?
Well, I assume it was headed to the river, but maybe it was leaving the river. I don't know. Why would, if you're a snapping turtle, why would you leave the river anyway?
Why did the turtle cross the road?
Following the chicken? I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But that really was my first interaction with the snapping turtle.
Oh my gosh, I had an interaction with one a couple days ago.
How did that work out?
Well, it was just a little one. I mean, he was about the size of a football, a little bit bigger.
What? So where are you? I mean,
I was cutting the grass. I was about to cut the grass. I burned some boxes. I stack up all these boxes in my garage, Amazon boxes or whatever, and I'm gonna, burn them so they don't take up room in my trash bin, or whatever. And when I walk down to my burn barrel, here's the snapping turtle.
Is there water nearby, or what?
Yeah, I got a little creek that kind of runs behind my house. It runs down to Bear Creek. Well, it's called, bears. I mean, there's some two-legged bears down there. Some of these parents, my kids go to, you know what I mean? I got little league baseball games on the 8th grade baseball games on the weekend tournaments and stuff. And there's some, I don't know if you'd call them mama bears, buffarillos for damn sure. Down here, I guarantee, get on the gravel road, you don't know what you're going to find down there. So anyway, they call it Bear Creek Road. Yeah, so yeah.
So Bear Creek is full of snapping turtles. Well, not.
I don't know. There's just few. I mean, I let him go. 25 years ago, I'd have killed him, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but would you kill them to make soup?
No, I killed a few of them just to kill them, just because that's the way I used to be. I killed one time that was as big as a trash can lid, and probably the last one I ever killed. Me and a buddy of mine, Jeremiah. I can't even tell you the onslaught of combat we put on to kill this giant turtle. It was probably, now that I think about it as an old man, it was probably my age now, 50-year-old turtle, and we killed it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Well, we caught it on a fishing pole.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know what I mean? It was on the end of our fishing line, and kind of spooked us anyway. Just, I don't even know what was going on back in them days in my life, but. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be kind of a shock, wouldn't it, to pull up your fishing pole and find a snapping turtle like that?
Oh yeah, it's not like a minnow trap full of snakes. I've had a bunch of them, but they're usually dead.
A minnow trap full of snakes?
Yeah, you know what a minnow trap is? It's kind of cylindrical that, tapered on the end, got them little, So you'd throw that in these little creeks down there about below where I grew up, and I grew up on Coon Creek, not Bear Creek, but Coon Creek. And anyway, it wasn't nothing to pull that minnow trap out, and it'd be half a dozen, maybe one big one, maybe 2, 3 little ones. Sometimes moccasins. A lot of them are just simple water snakes, but But the problem is when the snake gets in there, they can't get out, and they'll be, they're 9 times out of 10 they're drowned.
Well, I just sent you a video. I saw my first 2 garter snakes of the season, and I don't know what happened this winter in the garter snake world. These things are ginormous. These are the biggest garter snakes I've seen ever. If this is what I'm going to be faced with fall summer, I might be on disability because it's going to stop my heart or I'm going to break an ankle.
You mean they're right there at the?
Yeah, they're just in the yard, right by
where you're delivering.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the video I sent you, that thing, I walked right past it and it's like, holy smokes. And it was the second one I had seen that morning. And I'm like, I just don't do snakes. It's just not my thing.
You talked about Izzy grabbing that turtle by the tail. You ever heard of them old wives' tale? They talk about grabbing a snake by the tail and snapping its head off.
No, whip it,
whip it like you would a dish towel after your little brother or something. And
it'll snap its head off.
That's what they claim. I don't know. I don't. I never. That's just one of the things they say down here in the Ozarks. I don't know if it works.
Oh my gosh! I just gotta be honest. It was more appealing picking up the big old snapping turtle than it would be that harmless. I know garter snakes harmless, right? I mean, they're not gonna do anything.
I don't know. Are they?
I think so.
Well, I mean, they could be. You could be the one in a million guy that gets an anaphylactic shock and drops dead if it bites you. I don't know.
From a garter snake? Oh God!
You don't know, right?
Oh, jeez. Now you're giving me a whole new set of things to worry about out there. Which I didn't share this with you last time. We were talking about the young lady that had the accident, right? Got okay. So she was. So I found out she was making a left turn, and the guy behind her was not paying any attention that she had her turn signal on, making a left turn, and decided
to pass her at the same time she was turning.
Yeah, on a double yellow line, and they estimated he was going 60 miles an hour when he hit her. So it rolled the mail truck, and she had her seatbelt on, and luckily she had her seatbelt on, or else she'd have rolled out of the vehicle and it would have killed her. But as it was, it broke her shoulder, I think, the seatbelt. That's how much pressure put on there. Okay. So last week, after when I got back to work, the postmaster sent me those pictures of the accident because that same day, that day, when I think I went back to work on Tuesday. I was complaining that I'm driving in the city, and I mean city. It's not like driving in Columbus, driving a little town. But if I'm not
in town.
Yeah, I'm in town. My route's in town. But I'm on these streets. They're not to be. You're not supposed to be passing people on them. Okay, they're city streets. Okay, so if I'm not delivering at a mailbox or something, I always turn my flashers off because I don't want people to think that I'm going to be stopping at a box, so they don't have to worry about me going slow or whatever. And they'll still pass me. And so when I got back to work on that Tuesday, I was sitting in a mailbox. I had maybe 40 yards to the stop sign, and I went to pull away from the mailbox because there was a car stopped behind me, and I could see it. As I go to pull away, here comes a truck passing the car behind me and me to get around me so he can slam on his brakes for the stop sign. Okay. So I've had it. So the postmaster sends me these pictures, and I decide to put up a post on Facebook and just say, hey, people, please share this post because I want people to start watching out for mail trucks and slow down. And you don't need to be in a hurry. Okay. Just slow down. And I described what had almost happened to me, and thankfully this girl is okay. Now, keep in mind, we didn't even know who the guy was that was driving the car that hit her. I didn't even know her name because she came from another office. So I put it up on Facebook, and it probably got shared hundreds of times. All right. So I get a message in my Facebook Messenger, and it's from somebody I'm not friends with. And I open it up, and it's a name that I'm kind of familiar with, but I don't have we don't share any of the same friends. And I'm like, well, I wonder what this guy wants. And it
He
says,
said, "Hey, MFer. Hey, my friend. I'm the guy that was driving that truck, and I don't appreciate you." No, what did it say?
did you send it? Because that's almost exactly what it said. It said, I'm going to read
My
it.
friend. That's what the MF means, right? My friend. Hey, my friend.
It said, bro,
Bro.
I was in that accident. So before you go posting crap, get both sides of the story. You dumb effing keyboard warrior F-tard.
That's what he said to you?
Yeah. Okay.
He called you keyboard what?
Dumb effing keyboard warrior F-tard. Okay. Okay. So my response to him was, I said, whatever, man. I said, I didn't post any names, so spare me the tough guy act and name calling. I'm just glad everyone survived, and I wish people would pay attention and be more careful. That's the point.
You should have said, I couldn't put a name with a dumb act, but I can now. Thanks. I'm going to repost this. I'd have reposted 1,000,000 damn times.
Well,
I'd have reposted his response.
Well, if he had stopped when he did, because then he's like, he's telling me that she made a sharp left turn in front of him. She didn't have a turn signal on, and he followed her for 5 minutes. Which, if he followed her for 5 minutes here, he'd be from one end of town all the way out in the it's like, and he got cited. Okay, he got cited.
Yeah, he got cited.
Yeah, and so he kind of says, well, I'm glad she is okay too. Okay. And I said, now let's go back to the first thing you sent me. I said, I'm going to ignore the fact that because I'm not stupid and I'm definitely not a keyboard warrior. And he just goes, bye-bye. And
I would have said, I'm a keyboard commando. And if you don't understand the difference, you shouldn't be railing on me.
Well, he said, he goes, bye-bye. And then he blocked me. Now, keep in mind, he's the one that, sent me a message.
Started this interaction. Yeah. That's why, man, I'm glad you said that, because I was, anyway, finish what you should say and I'll tell you what I was going to say.
But I can't, so I couldn't place my finger. I'm like, where do I know this guy? Like, how do I know this guy? Oh, he lives on my mail route. He lives in the apartment building on my mail route.
Oh, so you give him his stuff.
So boys and girls out there, before you go sending a obscenity-laden message to a mailman, make sure you don't live on his route, because he may or he may not get everything that he's anticipating in the mail.
No, you're too good. I know he's going to get it correctly with you, but I just, yeah, I mean, that's what's wrong with the world right there.
Yep.
That in a nutshell. They can't whip people's ass. I think I said that the other day in one of my few posts that, I got 179 followers or whatever. So under my real name and under the Howler, I only got about 80. But, they were talking about something. I don't remember. I think it was some of these inner city robberies where these people are walking up to these elderly people and they knock them down, just take their stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm essentially made the post. I replied back that a buggy whip is all it would take to cure these people. You know what I mean? just a good old fashioned buggy whip, and you wouldn't have to whip very many of them, and they would quit that behavior. And I done it. The other one I done it was when they pour paint on these. They go to these museums, these stop war people, you know what I mean? And they're defacing these 300-year-old paintings or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then today I had to up the ante, and I forgot what it was, but I said a guillotine would fix it. I said, they're really cheap to operate. From what I've read, once you have the initial purchase, they're cheap to operate, and they have a lasting effect on the population and the politician alike. And that didn't get any likes or retweets or nothing. So buggy whips and guillotines are two things I support, and people in social media don't.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.